All right, guys. Good morning to Caro. And what's up, Marcela? Thank you guys for doing this.
Hi,
No
thanks for
problem.
having us.
Yeah, please. I've been looking forward to it. And Marcela has been very insistent on featuring as a prime guest.
Well, I
I better
would not
go.
accept anything less.
I better go viral after this, Marcela. I need to see you making us viral.
Hey, if you get me a job out of this, I will owe you forever.
All right, let's see. Don't get any.
No pressure.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So, guys, why don't we start with like introductions? I'm not going to do mine because this at this point I'm sick of talking about myself. But please, let's.
Really?
Who'd like to go? Who'd like to
Yeah,
go?
I'm surprised that happened. Marta, you can start.
Marsa, let's get you going. Yeah.
All right, I am Marcela from El Salvador. Is this like a typical EMBA introduction? I just completed a dual degree with Gotham. Well, I did that. We did the international MBA with Caro, and then Gotham and I went on to the Masters in Big Data. We finished in July. I am chilling in Madrid while the world figures out the whole pandemic issue, and then probably moving back home in October.
All right. Thank you so much for that very concise introduction. There was no
Oh,
time
I have
limit,
a
but
marketing background.
I love it. I love it.
good. Thanks for throwing that in. All right,
Uh,
Caro, do you wanna show how it's done?
yeah, so my name is Caro. I'm actually from Miami, but my background, my family's Hispanic. Most of my experience is in luxury marketing, but I did the international MBA with Gotham and Marcella and had an amazing time pre-COVID, thank God. And nothing now. I'm just like working on marketing projects and product development. So it's been pretty cool.
Hispanic where? Be more specific.
My dad is from El Salvador and my mom is
Thank
Cuban.
you.
You're welcome.
Is that why you shouted at her? You just wanted her to say she was from El Salvador.
She just loves my
Yes.
life story. She really loves my life story. I have a really good
Salvadorian pride.
You can already see Marcela is going to be a little problematic, but all right. But yes, thank you. And I think it might be worth noting that I think the motivation for this podcast is all of us have some background in marketing. I worked with marketing as well, especially with startups, mostly B2C companies. And I've always enjoyed it. I think I thought it'd be a lot of fun for us to, talk about, first of all, our experience with marketing itself, what we've seen work, and I think we would have seen a lot of things change, right? Especially over the last, like, say, 10 years. I think marketing itself gone through a severe evolution. I thought it'd be really cool for us to talk about that. And also, I mean, if the MBA helped change any of that perspective, or if you guys have something new in your approach.
Personally, I think the MBA like validated everything that I like had thought of or like had done in the past. Because marketing, I don't know if you guys have experienced this. It's kind of like touching, feeling it out, and then like being like, okay, that worked, that didn't work. Okay, let's move forward.
Yeah.
Because I don't think all brands react the same way.
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
definitely like each one of them has their own personality. So I think that's definitely changed in the way that I think personalities have gotten more defined.
Yeah.
And like voices.
The medium as well, like the target you're trying to reach, it's going to be a lot different and a lot more specific than before, where usually like TV would be your only medium of reaching whichever audience. Now you have it more segmented.
Oh my God, so much more segmented. I
Yeah.
like did an ad campaign like 2 weeks ago and they were like, okay, well, what kind of people do you want to reach? Like Hispanic, but like what kind? And then like age groups.
Yeah.
And like likes, dislikes. And then if you don't have the call to action in the first 3 seconds, like people stop watching.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
crazy.
Attention
been
span
cool.
has gone way down.
Perfect. You guys have basically blown like half my agenda out of the water. I have literally listed down a lot of things that you guys said. But yeah, it's great. I mean, I think we're on the same page and we can cover. But let's start at the beginning. Yeah, I want to really talk about one thing. Like we have the shared experience of the MBA, right? And
Yes.
coming in personally coming into the MBA, I initially thought, yeah, I've worked with marketing. I understand how this works, and I have a grasp on it. And that was my approach to our marketing class as well initially. But Teresa was a great teacher, and I
My
think I learned.
favorite.
Yeah, she was amazing, and I think she definitely put a lot of things in perspective for me in terms of fundamentals itself. But what was your opinion in terms of like I mean, and I think the marketing class that we had was a very traditional approach to it. Nothing wrong with
Yeah.
that, but a very traditional approach to it. So, what was your opinion about that? Given that you guys already had some prior experience in it.
Well, just to say, like at the sort of to answer on the previous question as well, I came in to IE just going to do the MBA, and then it was actually Teresa's class and also Jose Esteves' class that made me realize that marketing was changing, just like you were saying, and I decided to join Big Data because of it. Like our two classes made me realize that marketing was changing and that I needed to like keep up, and it made me want to do the other masters. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. I mean, they were great professors for sure.
I think like the MBA, Teresa is like a great teacher, but like her basics were just, she didn't just teach you the basics. She kind of taught you how the basics like opened up into everything else.
Yeah.
And while I already knew the basics, I didn't necessarily know like all of the other things and how they kind of branched out. So I thought that was really cool. And like Marcia said, like the Jose Esteves class, like it kind of was an extended digital marketing class is what I would call it.
Right. Right. Yeah.
But it definitely opened up, like there's so many ideas that I've gotten from those classes, or just like, for example, like things that I go out into the world and like I remember traveling last year and being like, oh my God, we totally talked about that in class. That totally makes sense. That's super resourceful.
Yeah. One thing I really liked about Teresa was that she had a strong focus on numbers. You guys remember we spent like whenever we discussed a case, I mean half the class was okay, let's look at the numbers and dig deep and figure out okay what makes economical sense. And initially when I started working in marketing initially, that's not what I thought. That's absolutely not what I thought about marketing. My initial thing, okay, campaign, we'll come up with a nice idea, we'll have a graphic, we'll have this, we'll reach this audience, but the economics of it itself.
I agree, and I love that she emphasized the importance of it, because I think a lot of people that didn't have any marketing experience thought it was way more simple than it is. And I love that she emphasized how actually the numbers, like you said, are a huge part of it.
Okay. Yeah.
I would definitely agree, because like numbers are not my strong point. And like she kind of forced me to like look at marketing in a different way and be like, okay, if you put numbers behind it and like set like attainable like physical number goals, it's a lot easier to say I achieved them or I didn't achieve, instead of being like, okay, I increased, but like how much, like what percentage, like how much can you grow more?
I have a slight segue here. I wanna tell you a funny story that happened. You remember we had to give like 3 write-ups during marketing, the class itself.
Yes.
3 or so for the grade. So I did it for the first one. I think it was a beer. I don't remember.
Mountain Dew or something.
Yeah, something. Yeah, that beer. So I did it for the first one, and I had a very theoretical approach to it, and I had a lot of jazzy campaigns and all that shit. And I wrote it, and I came to the cafeteria really early before the class, and I saw Kobus sitting there, and he was working on the paper itself. And he had an Excel open with like insane amount of numbers and financials done. I was like, holy shit, the bar is so high. I can't submit what I have, because I had just looking at it, I felt like I had a fluff piece. I've written like one of those BuzzFeed articles. That's what I've written compared to.
I remember feeling the exact same way, because Paula had done the same thing to me. She was like, I have so many numbers, like, and all this. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to turn mine in. And I'm just in case, and then I'll do another one.
Yeah, but who really took the cake? Milo submitted half a page, I think, for the marketing.
Shut up!
No way.
He submitted half a page or a page and a half or something like that, and then I remember I was sitting in the first bench, right? So he gives it to Teresa, and I'm sure it was great work. Milos is super smart, and I'm sure whatever he came up with really worked. But Teresa looked at it and was like, "Oh my god, this is it." But yeah, okay. So like very quickly, what do you think didn't work, or what do you think needs to change in terms of what they thought in marketing now? If someone does an MBA, say 2 years from now, what should change or what should remain the same?
Like for the MBA classes?
Yeah, the same thing that we had. Imagine 2 years from now. What do you think? How do you think that course should be? Should they keep it the same? Should they change it? What should they approach?
I think teaching the fundamentals is always important. Like maybe they should have gone a little more. How do I say this? Like up to date, like with what's happening now. But I always think you should at least go over the fundamentals.
Yeah,
traditional fundamentals.
I always have a conflict with this because I love the cases that we did because they taught so much with them, but they're older. So like people get frustrated to be like, this isn't what's going on, but it's what's going on. Just like there's so many other problems that you're not realizing, like the basics are still the bigger problems.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that because part of you actually touched upon it. All of those cases, a lot of those cases were really old, right? 1970s, 1990s. They're great, but the thing is, marketing has changed so much, and it's so fast right now, right? You could run a campaign in the morning, and by evening, you could go viral.
Right? But like, there's so many things that like, if your basics aren't right, you're never gonna go viral. So it's like. What do I teach? Like how to go viral or like how to do the first part?
Maybe there needs to be a 50-50 approach to it, where you have like, okay, 50%, these are your fundamentals, but the rest 50%.
But I think it also goes back to what we said before. It depends on what product and what audience.
That's fair. That's fair. It's easy to discount TV and say that television is no longer a good medium because we are not used to it. But in all honesty, television is still the biggest medium. Yeah.
Television is the best media ever because you get the biggest reach possible. But guess what? Like people are still recording television. People are still forced to watch ads on like Hulu or whatever they're watching.
Yeah.
Unless
and
they
then you have special
more.
events like the Super Bowl where it's coveted prime spot.
Right.
Well, we'll see if that gets canceled.
Yeah. So, Caro, why don't you tell us the difference between advertising and marketing?
I've battled with this for a long time.
Because you brought it up and I don't have a clear answer, so I'm going to throw it back at you.
I don't think there is a clear answer, but my definition is that you can do marketing or you can have marketing without having advertisements.
Okay.
But you can't do advertising without marketing behind it.
Yeah.
It's the best definition that I've come to. But I've definitely like thought about it because like by definition, all your marketing should be positive advertising for your brand.
Can I take a stab at it? I think I have a definition that it's going to sound super cheesy, super MBA, but let's
super
do it.
Gotham-y.
Super Gotham-y. So I think marketing is the message you're trying to convey, and advertising is the way you do it.
Yeah, but like not all your is every single piece of paper that you put your plan onto or like a visual onto, is that considered advertising?
But advertising is a part of marketing. It's like a segment of it.
Yeah. I think anything with I don't know. To be honest, I don't think there has to be there doesn't have to be a clear segregation. There's a lot of overlap with marketing being the higher umbrella, probably.
Yeah.
But there are probably smarter people who have very clear-cut definitions for us to.
But you know what it is? It's like there's a lot of things that are opinion, and like we can't really define them because they're words. Like, I mean, every definition it has a little bit of leeway. So you kind of have to like define what it means to your brand to advertise versus marketing.
Right.
And like someone who's talking about your brand is definitely marketing you, but would you consider them advertising?
Yeah.
Like, does advertising have to be paid? Is another thing.
There's something that I remember Teresa saying, and it's kind of stuck with me. I want to get your opinion about that. She mentioned that till now, there's not been one prominent CEO who was previously a marketing officer, CMO. You guys remember saying that? Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember her saying, and she was saying it's about time that we had a CMO become a CEO
Really?
of a big organization. What do you guys think about it? Do you think that that sort of translates into uh, a role of that magnitude?
I think that
I definitely think yes.
Yeah,
I
you
think
think
that
that
there's definitely
specialization?
bad stuff that goes around. Like marketing has a very like kind of ditzy, like women are always in advertising, and like people don't always realize like what we learned in class. Like people don't realize the numbers that go behind marketing
Uh-huh.
and how much it affects everything else.
Yeah.
And I think once people realize that, it's going to become like a good transition role. But also marketing isn't always consistent. Like you can have a great ad. I think like one of my only favorite companies to have like great consistent marketing is like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, Coke's been killing it.
Nike too. Nike
And
always kills.
Nike
Oh,
has good
Nike's
ones.
latest ad is insane.
Which one?
The
There's so
one
many.
which is like split screen,
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
and it's
Which
like
one?
it's a just once we're done, just go Google Nike split screen ad, and it's like two different. It's two different people, two different scenarios, but it's synced so well. It's like the same person is moving through the two
Oh, I think
situations.
I've seen that one. Yeah, I like that one, and I like the Play for the World one. That one's one of my recent favorites.
I don't know if I remember
Nike always kills it.
It's the
that.
pandemic one that they came out with. It was really good.
Uh-huh. But my problem with saying that marketing should eventually, I mean, a person from marketing could eventually go on to become a CEO or something, right? Okay, I'm coming from a small organization perspective. I've worked mostly with startups when it comes with marketing, and it's something that Caro you touched upon earlier. It's there's no exact science here. You're constantly like touching, feeling, and seeing. Okay, this worked. We could run with it, and some campaign that you ran or some idea that you had which did really well last week just doesn't work the next week, and
Yeah.
there's just you're just going
But
in blind.
to counter that though, and the reason I do think that the CMO could become a CEO is that as a marketer, you have to be firm on what you're deliver on, like the message of your product or the message of your service, and that is unchanging. Like maybe the medium or how the marketing materials might change or like the audience, but the message should never change. It's like kind of when you develop a brand, the brand identity should never change. So I
Yeah.
think a CMO would be the person with the most clear idea of what the product you're selling is, which is why I think they would make a great CEO.
So yeah, I would totally agree with that, and I would also say like the marketing, the CMO would translate great into a CEO because you're just like you're the best protector of the brand. You know the brand the best.
Yeah.
You know the financials because the financials are what keep the marketing going. There's so many different things, and you have an ability to be so flexible because you have to react so quickly, and it's not like every single part of a company is intertwined. But marketing, I feel, touches the most because price point, visuals, the product itself, the financials. If the financials aren't working, then you have to change your marketing strategy. There's so many things, and I think it's such an underrated role to be a CMO that the day that it does happen, I hope that person just knocks it out of the ballpark, to be honest with you.
I'm sure it's happened, like maybe not one of the big ones, but there has to be.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it has. It's just not been a prominent one that we can quote as an example. Like, see, for example, right now we can't come up with a name, right? Because we can't think of a person who's done that transition. But I'm sure it's just a matter of time because the more, like, I think both of you kind of touched upon it really well. Data and numbers are becoming really heavily incorporated into marketing itself, and eventually a person who's well versed in marketing and achieving these goals is versed enough in other areas of the business. But okay, I want to ask you guys something. As okay, now we've talked about it as professional, but as a consumer, aren't you guys like tired of constantly being sold things? I mean, any medium you go, anything you do, you're constantly
Hell
being
no.
sold.
I
What? What?
Hell no.
All right, it's time to drill into Marcela for this one. What are you smoking, woman?
How, as a consumer, how will I be tired of people trying to sell me stuff?
Are
if
you
I'm trying to
kidding?
consume it. I don't get it.
Do we live in the same
Yeah.
world?
Wait, I have a question. Do you buy everything you see?
No.
That would
Okay,
explain
see,
so much.
that's it. I see an ad and I'm like, oh wait, no, I want to keep buying this. Like, I want to
No,
buy
okay,
this.
no.
Also,
See, I'm
as
in between you
creepy-
guys. I don't buy
as
everything
cre-
I see, but I still am sick of seeing everything.
As well, the thing is, maybe I can't separate my role as a consumer and as a person that works in the consumer fast sector and the consumer goods fast moving consumer goods sector, because everything I see that is sold to
FMCG.
me, thank you, but I didn't want to just use the acronym. So everything I see sold to me, I will immediately. I work in a family business. I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast. So I work very closely with my brother and sister about what new products to bring or create in El Salvador. So everything that's being sold to me is usually a source of inspiration, whether negative or positive. It's like, this is cool, let's try to do this, or, oh, this is where the trends are going. And yes, it's creepy that if I just mention like a toothbrush to you guys, I'm suddenly going to get sponsored a lot of different toothbrushes on my Instagram or whatever. But a lot of times I have found new products that way.
Yeah,
I mean,
So
it
it's
definitely
just-
works.
I mean, fair.
if you
Yes,
just
it
learn
works.
how to
It
I'm
works
telling you that
filter
incredibly
out
well.
the noise,
It's great.
cool.
Like,
It-
my frustration with this is like, every time I see it, like, hello?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah. Sorry, I like
thought you were
blanked
pausing
out.
for dramatic
No.
effect.
Dramatic.
No. I like didn't hear anyone breathing on. I was like, oh god. But no. So like my problem is like every time I see an ad and I know that I've talked about it, I'm like, someone just sold my freaking information, and like
Yes, please. Thank you.
that's freaking annoying because I'm like, no one
Okay.
asked me.
Is this
I'm
not
not making
creepy?
money off that.
Is this not creepy that you talk about something? Say, and this has happened so many times. You talk, let's say we're sitting, or if your mobile phone is near you right now, and if I keep telling you guys, wow, I love electric bicycles, I really want to buy one, I look forward to buying one. In like half an hour, when I go on Instagram, I'm going to see an ad for electric bicycles. Has this not
I
happened to
know,
you
but
guys?
I think it's like, if you can't beat them, join them. Like, filter out the bikes that you like and ignore. Like, maybe you'll find a bike that you really like that you wouldn't have found otherwise.
No, that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is this is saturation. I mean, we're being constantly sold, dude. I mean, at some point I appreciate brands that take a minimal approach now, because everything for me now is like, fuck, you're just selling me a new product.
Yeah, I would agree with that because
I still fail
I'm
to
just
see your
really
frustration.
frustrating. I personally see it frustrating just also because like sometimes I like just seeing what's out there. I don't necessarily like seeing what I've been talking about. Like there's some times that I want to explore other things, and that's the cool thing about television is like they know a general audience, but they don't know exactly who's seen it. So it's kind of just really cool. The down part about TV is like you don't really know how it helped or how it didn't help. Like that's the thing about social media is you know exactly how many people swiped up, you know exactly how many exited, how many seconds they watched, like, and it's consistently creepy in my from my point of view. But I mean, if it works for you and like the majority of people are buying, like I am usually a sucker for that. I mean, I don't know how many stupid bracelets and necklaces I bought. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. But I
How many of
mean,
them during
it
class?
works. No, I bought plane tickets during class.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, but tell me another thing related to us as consumers. What are you most likely to go for, or on what kind of products do you want to see a discount versus what kind of products are you okay with if we don't see a discount?
Oh, flights discount, obviously.
Flights and clothing, always a discount.
You know what my problem with discounting is now, as talking as like a marketing professional, is, and I've seen this and it hurts small businesses more. I think once you have a growing business and you have a lot of customers coming in, if you start discounting early on, you start giving discounts on all your products, right? That's what people are going to expect every time they come to your platform.
Oh my God, you've just spoken to the choir in luxury marketing. Like, luxury marketing will not discount any product unless it is literally damaged or in its last leg.
But in any product, do you think it should be restricted to luxury product alone? Don't you think this applies to any product?
Any product, as soon as you put it at a discount, you're telling people that it's not the value that you're selling it for.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that to me is super clear. And I think clothing is like the biggest thing with that. Like, you can buy a pair of jeans for $100, but like you can definitely buy them for $20, $30 or euros. So like, why would I pay full price? It's
Yeah.
gonna go on sale. Like, unless I need them tonight for a party that I'm dying to go to. But let's be honest, it's COVID and
And
there's
I
no
think
parties.
marketers take this into consideration. Like often you'll put the original price higher knowing that you'll discount because customers often fall for discounts. So I feel like all of these go into the marketing strategy behind the product or the service.
I think the
Oh, yeah.
smart ones do, but not everyone do. Like the one of the food tech companies I worked for, I mean, we never thought about it that way. For us, it was like discount so that we can make numbers. And the problem there was we were trying to hit certain numbers so we could show investors, right? Our aim was very different. There was no smart approach to that where we hiked up the price and then discounted it, which I get, which a lot of places do, right? But I mean, but
It
yeah, go
depends
on.
on a
Sorry.
lot of things, like your industry. It depends on like whether you're selling to businesses, to consumers. Like wholesale will definitely, like, you have to negotiate prices up and down.
Yeah.
But I
You
mean,
know
it's also
who's been like leaning so heavily on the discount game to like gain market share? Uber Eats.
Yeah, and I know you've fallen for it several times.
Oh, I've fallen for it so many times during the quarantine. It was insane, dude. There was one
Not
month
even
where
quarantine. You were in class like, oh, look what's on Uber Eats offers today.
yeah, they had 50% off every day for a month. That is fucking insane, huh?
But okay, here's my question to you. Like, during quarantine, like, you really weren't allowed to leave your house to even go get food, right?
No, it was all delivery.
Here we were allowed for food. In Madrid, we were allowed to go to the supermarket.
Yeah.
Okay, so I personally in Miami have a car, and I am one of
fancy.
the few people. No, dude, it's really not. It's really not. It's like a really old Jetta, but don't worry. It's your classic chickmobile. But yeah. So I'm not one of those people that's like a huge. I'll order through an app, but I won't get delivery. I'll go pick it up myself.
And I never did either until the quarantine kicked in, and it was insane. And they just killed it with that discounting. But
yeah,
I mean, I guess that works when you have a lot of money to burn. But
I don't think Uber had that much money to burn.
Uber,
no, I think
Uber.
I think they just wanted market share.
Yeah. I mean, for market share, they had a lot. So their budget was actually market acquisition. It was not solely marketing itself, right? So yeah. I mean, and Uber, man, they do.
You know who killed it in quarantine too? Here in Madrid, at least, Glovo had Glovo Prime that you paid like €7 a month and then no delivery fees. And I know so many people that switched to Glovo, including me, because of that alone.
Oh shit! I didn't know that at all because I was so deep in the Uber Eats trap. I was like, "Fuck it, 50% off every day. This is my jam."
When I lived in Madrid, I loved Glovo. That was the best.
I was loyal to Uber Eats and Deliveroo, and then Glovo Prime just convinced me.
Actually, the only ever time I've used Glovo is once because they're the only ones who had, I think. Okay, don't judge me. I was craving some really bad pizza, and I wanted Domino's.
Super judging. It's not bad pizza. I love Domino's.
Yeah, and I wanted Domino's, but if you tell that in Spain or in Italy, everyone goes, start shaking their hand in your face.
Okay, well, Italy. Let's be honest there. Like, I don't even know what to tell you on that one. Like, there's no winning on that argument.
Okay, but very quickly, what's your favorite medium as a consumer to see an ad and as a professional? Each one, pick one. Caro, go. Don't think. First thing that comes to your mind.
Instagram.
For as a consumer
stories.
Or as a consumer?
Okay, Instagram stories.
Okay, smart choice. Marcela, don't copy her.
Well, I was going to say the same for both, actually, because I also follow a lot of product designs and marketing design accounts. So I love seeing new products. Oh, please. And then
I mean, let us explain why.
Lie about that.
Let's explain why, though. I think it's really important.
All right, go.
Yeah, I'm about to say why. Why Instagram?
Because of that, because usually on Instagram, I'm just like scrolling through stuff. Stuff will be sponsored. I've seen a lot of like new products. But the thing is, I don't know, if I'm researching something specific, I'll still go to like Google and research like best whatever. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
I
Because also,
like
like, I don't know if Pinterest is like a very prominent source, but I find that if I find something on Pinterest, it's really hard to like pin down what the source is. Because,
I would agree with that one.
yeah.
But you know
But
what's why I think Instagram for me as well. I'm not copying you guys, just saying.
Oh, okay. Look who's copying now. Mr. got rid of Instagram for a while.
Yeah, no, I'm back. I'm back and I'm deep in Instagram again. But the reason why Instagram is because and this is really unfortunate, okay? And this is a really bad thing, but I prefer, this is ironic as well. I prefer consuming content in short format. I just want to see a 1 minute recipe video. I want to see a 1 minute funny video. But then I consume so many of them.
That's a low attention span.
Low attention span, but I consume so many of them. I end up spending more time doing that than watching an actual ad. So
I would agree with that. But
yeah.
I also, okay, so I love Instagram as a marketer because it gives me so much feedback. Like you go into Google Ad Manager and it tells you how much they spent, what kind of medium, the people that follow you. Like you can better your ads as you go and see like what parts like excite people, what moves people.
Yeah.
But as a consumer, I like it because it's just so easy. Like the link is right there. You just swipe up. You can go see it. I'm one of those suckers that definitely like scrolls through the whole thing. Like I convince myself not to purchase the item, and that's a win for me. If I just purchase the item, that's definitely a win for them. But I mean, I would say my second favorite ad source is definitely YouTube.
YouTube. I actually I
I'm never
installed
on
this ad blocker.
YouTube.
You're never on YouTube? You don't watch YouTube videos? What are you
Very
doing,
rarely,
Marcela?
actually.
I definitely do, but it's also because you can skip the ad if you don't like it. You literally are telling the marketer like bad ad,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
that's
just
true.
so easy. Like you can watch the full 5-minute ad if you want to, and the
So-
link is still there.
That's so much pressure. Like you need to catch the consumer in like the first 3 seconds before that skip ad button comes on, and I will definitely go for the skip ad button as soon
But
as it
that
becomes
happens
available.
on Instagram too.
You guys need to install ad blocker for YouTube. It'll remove all your ads.
No, they're informative.
But okay,
How do you
yeah, go on.
how do you find out like what are the new ads? Like what are your new strategies? Like how do you like innovate if you don't like watch other people's ads, see what they're doing and be like, okay, how can I better this? How can I
Okay,
apply this to my
fair enough.
account?
You're more inclined to marketing than I am at this point in my career right now, because I'm moving more towards the data side. But I get it. Yeah, if you want to stay on top of things, it makes sense. You wanna know what works, what's great, what are the current topics, and that perspective I get. But as a consumer, I mean, every time I click on a YouTube video, I don't really need to see an ad.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to see ads on Instagram too. You can skip them.
Yeah, I
There-
do. But sometimes if it's something I've just talked about, like right now, if I open up Instagram and I see an ad for an electric cycle, I mean, I'm gonna watch it because I want that product.
But like even on television, like you think, oh, I don't have to skip an ad, but you change the channel. You don't have to watch the ad.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
true.
pause television because who doesn't pause live TV now?
Yeah.
And you don't have to watch the ad.
How would you feel if Netflix brought in something like a mid episode ad?
Aw, I'd feel nostalgic of TV times.
But you wouldn't hate it? I mean, isn't this supposed to change? Or you'd go all nostalgic, you'd make an Instagram story about it like the good old days and shit like that.
No, I don't know.
Honestly,
was
I
like
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I feel like that's coming.
I think
But
I
I
think
would
it's coming too. I mean,
I
think
would
it's just a
hope
matter of
they
time.
would limit it to TV shows because I don't know, like if we were watching a movie, you don't want to see ads during a movie.
Actually, speaking of Netflix, right? You know what I think is going to happen next? We've somehow advanced from a television model to a video on demand, easy access model, and now we are slowly
Mhm.
going to we are regressing back to a television model because there are so many streaming services. Eventually, in some time, a product will come which will just sort of collate all your streaming services, and then you can just watch it on one platform.
Oh, hell yeah. But I mean, you kind of have that on your TV,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
smart TVs.
Smart TV, you just yeah, but I mean, it's still a pain, right? And you're still paying for Netflix, you're paying for Amazon Prime, you're paying for, say, Disney Plus.
But you get Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus all in one.
Okay,
I was
Like,
gonna say
it's
the thing is
ridiculous.
live sports. Sports
Yeah,
are
live sports, and they're on Hulu because I've seen that ad like 3 times today, and it's only 11 a.m.
yeah. Okay, are you guys ready for the first big controversial question that I have
oh
planned?
gosh.
Are you ready?
Oh wow!
This is going to be
Okay,
huge.
do it.
Actually, no, I'm building it up too much. It's going to be pretty straightforward.
Don't offend
Okay,
us.
All right, are you ready? Are you guys sitting
Yes.
down? You might need to sit down.
Bring
for
it
this one.
on.
All right.
What if I say no?
Influencers, how much do we hate them?
Oh gosh.
I love hate them.
Influencer culture. Let's talk about influencer culture, right? This is the new big thing.
Wait,
Not
can I
a
ask you a
fan.
question? How many influencers do you follow?
None.
None.
What?
I mean, okay, wait. In terms of, look, you know what? Probably I'm being too cool by saying none, because I'm sure there are some whose opinion I value. Because there's this guy called Marcus who does tech reviews, and he is an influencer, right? He reviews a new tech item every week, and I like his reviews because he's very direct about it, without a lot of jazz, none of that hyperactive influencer bullshit.
Yeah.
But he's still an influencer,
Wait.
right? So I have fallen for
Yeah.
the trap.
Wait. Wait. I just want to go back and say, how do we define influencers? Are they just people who like review items and like recommend items? Are they people who have like a certain amount of followers, or like how do you define an
I'd say
influencer?
followers, you know. Okay, it's going to sound super cliche, but yeah, anyone who has a substantial amount of influence is an influencer, right? I don't think your opinion matters, as in you don't need to be an expert to be an influencer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then what's the number of followers that you like? Okay, this has got to be.
Good question. You're coming to a really good point, which is actually my next point.
I mean, like, because I follow a lot of people that recommend shit, and I value their opinions, but they're not necessarily what I would call an influencer. But at the end of the day, they influence my opinions, so technically they are.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going into a gray area.
Right?
Yeah, but I'll give you a prime example of why I think this culture is so toxic and so wrong. Okay, there are many examples of that, right? We can talk about that all day, actually. We can have a podcast solely on influencer culture.
Oh my God, yes.
Right. But one of the things that really stunned me was, I think sometime back, 2019, 2018, I think Kylie Jenner said something about Snapchat.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right? Do you guys remember that? And I think
No.
Snapchat lost like 1 billion in market value just because of because she didn't like something
She
about
tweeted,
the app.
No. She tweeted something like, "Does anyone even use Snapchat anymore?" More LOL, like something like that. And man, Snapchat's like.
Wait, do you guys use Snapchat?
Way down.
I don't.
No, I deleted it like
but it's.
couple years ago.
We are not the demography for it, right?
Pre her tweet. Yeah. Let me clarify. I deleted it before her tweet.
I definitely deleted it pre-tweet, but and I actually officially deleted the account like last year, but I was just like not into having videos or like images of me for like 5 seconds.
Instagram did the same thing, and I love the Instagram stories.
Yeah, but just to quickly come back to Kylie Jenner, I mean the fact that that's her opinion.
Yeah, that's definitely an influencer.
She's an influencer. Are you telling me she's smart? I'm sure she's smart. She's got her own cosmetic business, I believe, and she's made her name for herself. But is she a tech expert? Is she someone who can comment on rising technology or rising trends?
Maybe not technology, but I would say her area, definitely
fashion, cosmetics for sure.
Right.
I mean, I would definitely call her an influencer.
Is it? No, yeah, fair enough. But is it right that she had this much of an impact on Snapchat?
Yeah. Why not?
I would disagree with you over there. And my opinion, I'm not saying I'm right, but my personal opinion is with the influencer culture, what's come is we've given value to a person's opinion who might not know a lot about what they're talking about, right?
And my answer to that is that's the world we live in. Like people can say things and like that's kind of like fake news.
I mean, we've put people in office that don't know what they're talking about or what they're doing.
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God.
mean,
Marcela's bringing up some very dicey topics. Yes, let's get into it.
I mean, it's true though. Like how many people are in office or doing things that you're like, you know nothing about this. Like, what are you doing?
No,
Like,
fair enough. I get it.
So why not average Joe like give their opinion? And if you value their opinion, like power to you.
But okay, I get it. But I find that reasoning a little flawed, because what we're saying there is, okay, we have seen.
Well, the thing is, I think what we're saying is we don't agree, but we think that's how it is, even though that's not how we would want it to be.
So shouldn't we say, as future marketers or future CMOs, and eventually Marcela is going to become CEO and hire us all, but all of that. But shouldn't we do something to change this?
Yeah, sorry.
Wow. Okay.
See, that's the thing. Like, why would I want to change it if I can use it to my advantage?
Well, I think that depends on each your own. Like when I used to work before I came to study, I remember one specific campaign where I refused to work with influencers because I didn't want to. And I know somebody else like within the company did a separate campaign with it. I'm not too sure how that panned out, but you can stay true to, I don't know what you think, or try it out and see how it goes. But
okay, I'm going to go slightly off on a tangent, and please feel free to disagree with me again. But here's the thing, all right?
Go with it. Okay.
Let's talk about influencers now. When you think about any of these influencers, generally, can we agree on what the demography would be? Say teens to early 20s. They're the huge chunk of it.
That would be
I would say older.
Primary, but I would say older, like definitely older, because think about it. Influencers have always existed, but you just didn't have. Okay, think about this. Okay,
fair enough.
Mom has like a group of friends, and
I thought you were gonna make a your mama joke.
No, of course not. Come on.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Your mom definitely has like her group of friends that if one person tells her, then she's like, oh, I should look into that. And then another person tells her. If 5 of her friends tell her,
that's word of mouth.
Yeah,
that's what you can influence.
Yeah, but it's a group of influencers. So like you just
it's like the Tupperware model, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, so, okay, hear me out. Let me finish my thought and then jump in. All right, if they're not the huge chunk of the demography, they're the fastest growing chunk of the demography. Can we at least agree on that?
Yes.
Right? Kids as young as 8, 9 have smartphones, which means they already have access to social media and all that jazz. So they're already exposed to this content. They're already exposed to these influencers. And if you look at a lot of these influencers, right? Okay, and I'm specifically going to call out fashion, or I'm going to call out a few examples. Again, I want to preface this by saying this is my opinion. It's biased by what I've seen and what I'm seeing right now. But a lot of it, especially like TikTok and all of that, it's just it's, in my opinion, it's first of all it's propagating this sexualization of teens and children themselves, and that's sort of coming down into how children behave and act right now. I mean, when I was 13 and 12, I was a fucking idiot. Right? The only thing I cared about was the latest video game.
I was gonna say,
hey, like, I have 2 degrees.
No, all right? Not even. Like, I was like, in my 20s, I still feel like I was this like kid who thought she knew the world, and I know nothing.
Yeah, and all I cared about was video games. I cared about like these remote control cars and shit like that. 13-year-olds these days, my God, they're all about fashion. They're doing these, they're TikToking to these rap songs, which are about, I don't know, sex and drugs and shit like that. And you know what's a prime example?
Scary world.
It's a scary world. And you know what's a prime example of this finally catching up with us? There's this Netflix movie that released recently, or is releasing recently. They released a poster for, you saw this? It's called Cuties.
Yeah.
And it's kids, man. It's like 10-year-old, 11-year-old kids. The poster is just objectifying kids, sexualizing kids. And
can I send you into another spiral?
Yeah, go for it.
So like this is now, imagine what your kids are gonna look for, or like what your kids are gonna do.
Exactly, right. I mean, can you imagine? This is what it is now, and this is not like some mistake they've made. All right, it's a smart, calculated move. They know what works. They know what's going to get them virality. And now, are you telling me there's not like a huge chunk of people out there who would now want to see this movie? They might not have any such, you know. Uh, intentions as per se, but now you just have this curiosity, like, what the fuck is the deal with this movie? I need to see what it's about. They've done it. They've created that hype. This is all, I think, in my opinion, a propagation of influencer culture. Okay, that was my rant. Now go ahead, rip me apart.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
How much do recommendations influence your, like, especially Netflix or like whatever you're watching or buying?
Not at all, because okay, but I would be wrong if I said I'm not influenced by anyone at all. I'm not influenced by the direct channel of, say, Netflix or Prime or any of that.
But like, did you watch Tiger King?
I hated it. I watched like one episode because there was so much hype about it. I hated it and never watched it again. Okay. But I do go by my research, and I am biased towards research I read about in a particular site, Reddit, for example. And I'm very biased by the opinions I get over there, because in my head that's like a collated opinion of a lot of people and gives me the general consensus. But it doesn't mean I'm not biased. I'm definitely biased, just from a different channel.
I mean, can we agree that everyone has their biases? No one's completely unbiased.
Fair enough.
I mean, I just think like influencers are just all kinds of people. We're just now they're more defined, and they're like one person instead of like a group of people. I think that's the difference, like, as it's evolved. And
because also there are a lot of influencers that depends on the sponsorships they get, and you don't know if it's real, if it's genuine, versus where before, if it was like a group of people, like you said, it was genuine because it wasn't like a platform, it was word of mouth.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But then like there's influencers like Oprah that you're like, okay, well, was she paid before?
Yeah, but Oprah's a different strata
altogether. She's an influencer. She's an influencer. She has her
mega
book club.
Influencer. I don't think we can count Oprah as a
I don't know if I would. She is so much more than an influencer. Like, she's a businesswoman. Like, she has so much. Like, see, this is, again, we go into the subject of how do you define an influencer? Because
okay, how do you define an influencer, Marcela?
No, I don't know, because it's, for example, I follow Sasha Fitness on Instagram, but I don't think she's an influencer. And even she said it because she created a product and like a whole line of products. And because of that, that's the people started wanting to get content. And now she has like all these followers, but it's not like she made her following just by talking about herself.
Okay, fair enough. Let me ask you a follow-up question with that. Who's this? What's her name again? Sasha what?
Sasha Fitness.
Okay, say
she's
Sasha
like a
Fitness
Latin America fitness guru. Yeah.
Okay, so she got all her followers from the product that she created. It did really well, so she had a lot of followers. Now, at some point, I'm assuming the followers that she started getting just started following her because she's already had a certain amount of followers. They like the posts. And then when she keeps posting about a product, which was all she's done initially, she, to some extent, has influenced the sale of her product, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
So now she's an influencer, right? Because she has real world impact, economical impact on a business.
But then, but then there's like the influencers that have made their platform solely on videos of themselves, not selling any product, not having anything of their own to sell. Just
I think that what we've like established here is that there's many different levels of influencers. I think that's what we can agree on.
Yeah, actually, Caro, you said something very interesting, and it's something that I've been reading about a lot. Is you said how many number of followers qualify you as an influencer? And that was a really interesting question, right? Because right now in my head right now, if I see someone would say 10,000 or 15,000 or 20,000 followers on Instagram, immediately I'm like, okay, there's definitely some amount of I would be more inclined to categorizing that person as an influencer than not.
So Instagram obviously automatically gives you the swipe up option, like the link. If you have 10,000 followers.
Okay, so that's what Instagram's
threshold. Yeah, but there are definitely people who don't have the swipe up option who I would call influencers.
Okay, so
Just
that brings
because
me to the next thing. There's this concept that I've heard of micro influencers. Have you guys heard about this?
yeah.
No.
So it's basically so let's take Instagram, right? If Instagram says 10,000 is when you get that swipe up, let's just say that okay, that's their criteria to categorize someone as an influencer or not. Now, micro influencers say have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, but having such a small amount of not small, relatively small amount of followers, their engagement rates are much higher. So whenever they post something, the likelihood of them getting say 500 likes or 600 likes from their 1,000 followers is insane, which means that they have like a 60% engagement rate. And they're categorized as micro influencers, and they have a better chance of getting you a sale than one of these 10,000, 15,000, where you just have random people following them from all over the world who don't really have any relevance to the product. Sorry, Caro, go ahead.
No, that was what I was going to tell you. Like, how many accounts do you follow that you just like scroll through? You definitely don't like their picture, or like I would say a like. I should not be a measurement, but like your level of engagement, I think should be the next measurement. Like not the number of people you have following you, because engagement is significantly more important. Like
hands down.
To me, it's more important for people to like follow me or to like comment on my pictures or share it than anything else. Because, and when I say my pictures, it's like the brand.
Yeah.
Because I'm an avid scroller and not a poster on Instagram.
Yeah.
I try not to post things on purpose. There's like a certain mystery to people like not being on Instagram, but that's my personal opinion. I don't know, brands I feel like are so in your face now that, I mean, I see it and I like the brand, but I'm not necessarily going to like everything.
Mm-hmm. True.
But I don't know if that's just me being a marketer being like, that's not worth my like. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know your opinion on that.
You know, one thing that I've actually, in social media, there's one kind of marketing which I don't mind at all. It's this whole ninja marketing thing that they do now. I'll give you an example. Okay, I'm going to quote you. Oh yeah, let me give you an example of one of these, these food channels that you have on Instagram, where they're showing you these top-down views of recipes and really 1-minute recipes of like really cool things.
Yeah.
Tasty?
Like
that's
Tasty.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
And I'll come to Tasty specifically later, but let me tell you one type of marketing I really don't mind, but it works tremendously well. Okay. And this happened to me very recently. I was watching one of these videos of them they're like, how to make Italian pizza at home. And they're like, okay, they do the dough, they do the mozzarella, and then it comes out, they put in the standard oven, it comes out looking like a really good pizza. Now, I have no inclination of making this pizza, all right? But the first thing that comes to my mind when I see that pizza...
Domino's.
No, I'm going to Uber Eats Grosso. Right? The first thing that comes to my mind when I see this authentic Italian pizza, I'm like, hey, Grosso's not bad. I can get their truffle mushroom thing. And yeah, I mean, why not? So, and I know a lot of companies, a lot of brands invest in this ninja marketing where they specifically talk about, like KFC, for example, right? If someone does like that specific kind of chicken, what do you call that? The crunchy chicken wing or something like that. Fried chicken with the
Kentucky Fried Chicken, maybe?
Yeah, no, but they don't specify it as Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? They have it like it looks really good like KFC.
Like they probably say like Southern Fried Chicken or something.
Southern Fried Chicken. There's something that looks like KFC, and like, hey, that looks good. What's the closest thing I can get to that? And then you go to Uber Eats, there's a 50% discount on KFC. Like, yes, I mean,
those are your friendly cookies. They're working.
They're working. So I'm okay with it to some extent. I still hate that I'm being manipulated, but hey, I'm enjoying my meal. I'm okay with it.
See, as a marketer, you should be like, yes. Like as a marketer, you should be like, yes, more information on people. And then as a consumer, you should be like, shit, they have more information on me. Like, yeah.
But what do you guys?
But you guys have Tasty? GDPR.
What do you guys know about Tasty? Just to quickly like close that loop.
Oh, I love the videos. We tried to do something like that with our products as well.
Yeah.
Last year I made Thanksgiving based off a tasty recipe, so I'm a huge fan of theirs.
Did
I
it come
know
off?
people that do like tasty recipe nights and try to like make their own. I have yet to do one,
Sure.
but I'm a
Okay,
fan of watching them.
because I've loved Tasty. Okay, really great, really quick, and really nice, well produced videos. But I've seen these few YouTube expose videos, all right, where they're like half of the Tasty recipes don't work because
Really?
half of the Tasty, if you go for one of their baked recipes, and you know where they like will bake without using the conventional ingredients and all of that, these guys have tried to recreate it, and it doesn't work. And
Really?
yeah, it's because I think Tasty manipulates the recipe when you're not looking in the, not when you're not looking, of course you're not looking when they're producing. It's not a magic trick. They just stop recording and they like switch an ingredient for something else, and then to get it like to puff up if it's being baked or something. And the point of those videos is they're not selling you the cake or the chocolate. They're probably selling you the baking powder or something something you don't expect. But they do that. They switch up and it's basically a manipulation, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, to a certain extent, but my thing with recipes is that, especially if they're baking, if you don't follow them to like the letter, they're not going to come out well. Like, it doesn't matter whose recipe you're using.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but there's definitely some manipulation in like the products that they use or like the products that they've been pushing for sure.
Mhm.
Because especially when they push brands, if they show you the can, I would say that's product placement. I don't know about Marcela would definitely have more insight into that. I feel like, being that she worked in products.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again. Into what?
So like product placement within like
Yes.
Tasty, I think that would definitely be like
Oh,
your thing. Like if they show you the can of like what they're using, if they show you just the powder, I don't think that would be product placement as much as they tell you like, this is the brand I'm using. Like, I'm using Hershey Kisses or
no.
Hershey
If they just show
chocolate.
you the powder, that's also product placement. If the
Really?
brand is if the brand is visible, it's product placement.
Marcelo,
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
don't. Yes.
tell us some brand you've created.
Oh wow, that's so big and such a jump.
Ooh, wait, can I tell them that my favorite of what you've created?
Yeah,
No,
Hot sauce.
I refuse it.
my favorite.
Hot sauce. Hot sauce. I miss Marcela's hot sauce.
Okay, tell me
I
about
just
Marcela's hot
finished
sauce.
mine. I miss it.
What's
When
so
I came to
great about
Madrid.
Marcela's hot sauce that
It's so
none of us
spicy.
Jeez.
this hot
Actually, it's not. It's not as spicy as I would like it, but our market, our consumer market in El Salvador does not like it as spicy as I like it.
Okay, tell
So
us
it's a
about your hot
little.
sauce, Marcela. And you
Okay,
created,
so it was my first project actually when I went to work with my family.
just to
It was
clarify,
all.
for the 5 people who might be listening to this is not a dirty thing, right? This is an actual hot sauce.
Oh my God, Gautam, where does your mind go?
I love that he had to clarify that.
It's been a lonely 3 weeks, hasn't it?
Okay, tell me about your hot sauce, Marcela.
So when I went home, it was my first project when I joined my family company. To clarify, I worked in the company under the family umbrella that made our own products. The rest of the companies are distribution companies, so they bring brands that are already created to the country. I created our own. This is my first project. It was already in the works when I started, but I got to do the design and outsource the design. Obviously, I didn't make it myself, but like work with the agency on what kind of design I wanted. It's called El Barbaro. We already had the name registered, but also my grandfather's nickname was Barbaro. So since a lot of the sales people knew him, I feel like everybody had a special attachment to this project just because they knew what it meant. Fun fact, I didn't really eat hot sauce before this project, but then I had to like taste so many different versions of it that now I love it. I can't eat anything without it. It's been a troubling product. Like it's a very saturated market, so it wasn't like the big hit that I would have wanted to, but it has its little following recognition. I love like when you go to places and you see it in stores and stuff. I don't know what else you want me to say about it.
No,
I
but
mean,
that's
It's
I'm
okay.
a
my first
personal.
baby.
Where do you sell it? Where do you sell it?
Little stores
Supermarket?
more than like no. Actually, we went to like La Tienditas more than like
You
actual
sell it in
supermarkets
little?
at first. in little stores.
Like,
Mostly
it
like,
would be like what you say chinos here or
Okay.
in Madrid.
Okay.
yeah, and also like a lot. It's a perfect hot sauce to go for like.
How spicy?
This is like. It's
Have you done
not
the
as spicy
Scoville
as I would want it. I told you,
Scoville
it's not as
test?
spicy as I would want it.
It's
what is
definitely
that?
not medium Indian spicy.
Oh,
Put it that way.
yeah.
I
Is
can't
it-
believe
okay.
you didn't try it, Gotham. I've had it in my house all this time.
Well, if you
Never
gave
tried
me
it.
some, yeah, I
Well,
definitely
I
want.
finished it now. Wait till the pandemic's over so I can get more.
How about this, Gotham? I'll go to El Salvador and I'll ship some to you.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I think I'm okay. But
Oh wow, okay then. I
All right,
didn't
okay,
want to
let's-
give you some.
all right,
Yeah.
Masala. Let's take your hot sauce. All right, I'm giving you market Spain. I'm giving you say 100,000 euros.
Spain
got-
is not into hot sauce though. This
Oh
is
my
not
God!
market.
Just assume it is. Assume it is, woman. It's an example.
Know
Right.
your market. Okay,
No, I would say
continue.
Mexico.
All
if
right, let's go
anything.
Mexico. Fine. What's the currency in Mexico?
No, but
Pesos?
not even in Mexico, because Mexico wanted spicier.
what?
The thing is,
Forget
we
it.
couldn't even.
Forget it.
Well,
We're not doing
no,
this
'cause this is
example.
the thing.
We're not doing this example.
You need to adapt every product to the local country or place you're selling
We're
it
not.
in.
No,
Like,
no. Okay,
even-
fine. Assume. All right. 20
Even
years
like
from now. All right.
jumping
20
over to
years from now,
Guatemala, which is right next to it. Guatemalans eat more like. Fine.
All right. 20 years from now, Spain. The people of Spain have developed a taste for spicy food. Right?
Let's hope
Right.
we're not locked in anymore.
Right? they've developed a taste for spicy food. Your product is coming into the market. You have 100,000 euros. Assume that inflation remains the same. There's no inflation in 20 years. So 100,000
I was gonna say.
euros values the same now as it does 20 years later. What do? How do you get your product out there? You're going in, nobody has any clue about your product. How do you get your product to be the number one hot sauce in a year with 100,000 euros? Go, Marcela. And then
Why are you putting me on the spot like this?
go, do it quick.
I'll do it. I'll do it first. I'll do it.
All right, cool. Caro first. No, wait, then Marcela will copy. We need Marcela to do it.
Jeez.
All right, no, Marcela first, and then Caro, you can jump in with your recommendations.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't studied the Spain market that much. I think my first opinion was try to get it into the supermarkets, or like the chinos. I would get into both, like the chinos and the little supermarkets, and not just the big ones like Dia. But I think this is very different than how El Salvador would work. Because we also get it into a lot of restaurants in El Salvador. I don't think that's the same thing here because Spain doesn't ask for hot sauce.
Okay, Marcela,
I don't know,
I'm going to
man.
have to
I
ask
try
you to
to, like-
speak faster because clearly you're going at a tortoise pace.
What?
I'm kidding. You're speaking really fast.
Well, you're putting me on the spot, like if you don't know me at all.
All right, Caro, go. Quick.
I
100,000
would-
euros.
I would say chinos first,
Okay.
and I would skip big supermarkets and go directly to restaurants. Only because you want local people to buy it, like people who don't necessarily want to go for like the name brands or like whatever. They just want a hot sauce, and that's how I think like you get recognized. And you go to like, you put it on a table at a restaurant, and people like look for it. You know?
I think I would make a badass brand campaign.
Yeah, I would definitely like.
Where? Let's talk video. Where?
Instagram, and like, for example, right now there's this gin that's just like exploded all over Spain. I'm seeing it everywhere. Like you walk into ABC Serrano and it's like all over the
Which one?
postcards or the movies. Puerto de Indias, and it's really good actually. It's been like our gin of the summer. And
Gin
it's
of
in
the
like
summer.
it's on the we call them movies, but like the billboards on the streets, it's like everywhere, and it's like a really cool brand. The advertisement's good. It makes you want to try it. So I think I would try to do like a killer brand campaign. Since the name is Barbaro, it would be like, do you dare? Like, can you handle the spicy, and try to like challenge it in a way and make it like attractive?
Yeah, I would agree, especially
Right,
like
okay.
benches and like where bus stops are. I don't
But
know why that.
neither of you mentioned an influencer, and you guys were all for influencers.
Because I told you from the start, I am not a fan. I told you how I didn't want to work with influencers.
All right,
So-
okay, cool.
For me, influencers depend on the brand personally, and influencers don't go well with food for me.
Yeah, but that's what we discussed, right? I mean, if you have
Unless it's
At
a
some
foodie,
point.
like if you get one of the top chefs in Spain, like Jordi, or like the judges on Top Chef, like that would be
I
different.
mean, yeah, but I wouldn't put
Wouldn't you put
For
it with micro
example.
influencers?
No,
No?
they cost too much money for like. Because
Actually, that's
the
true.
thing with food
These,
is like micro influencers, you have to know like it's gonna work because they're so because they charge like a lot,
they
but they
shouldn't be
have a
that
smaller
expensive, right?
audience.
I don't think influencers should be that expensive. They're a dime a dozen. You don't need to. These guys charge an
But
exorbitant amount.
so the reason that they cost so much is because you're putting your name behind a product.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like,
I don't know, dude. Like, I remember when I was working in a startup, we thought, okay, let's do a marketing campaign with influencers. And these guys want so much money and so many perks. It's like this market needs to be regulated.
you want to regulate? Okay.
Yeah, but these guys
Yeah.
are. I mean,
How would you regulate it? Shoot.
how would I
Yeah. I
regulate
want
it?
to hear this one.
I mean, first of all, I would like not invest in influencers at all. But if I had to invest in influencers, I would invest in something like Tasty.
Yeah.
That's the only stage at which I think an influencer marketing makes sense, because first of all the reach is insane, and second they're run by an agency. It's not one individual, right? More often than
Yeah.
not, you're dealing with an individual who probably does not have the experience of experience dealing with like with professionals. Again, this is my opinion. All right, I'm coming from a personal point of view, but I've worked with a few of these guys, and they're fucking idiots.
That's a really, really objective view there. But
But
I
it's
mean,
it's objective. I agree. But it's if you ask me, I think it's how majority of these influencers function. You have some really good ones, okay, who are handled by agencies who are smart enough to get like an agent to handle their brand promotions and all of that, and have taken the right way to becoming an influencer. But then you have some of these who get like 20,000, 50,000 followers, and then it goes to their head.
but okay, Gotham, I have a question for you. If
Please.
this podcast blows up and we all become famous overnight, right?
Uh-huh.
Which, knock on wood, that happens, and we all have 10,000 followers tomorrow morning.
5,000 euros for a mention on my podcast. That's my rate.
Okay. So, I mean, wouldn't you take advantage of that? And since you've developed it on your own
No, I would want to learn from
organically,
these mistakes. Trust me when I say. I mean,
like,
I'm only as good as the word I give, right? And all of us are. Now, if I let's assume, okay, in this fantastical world where all of us become famous after this podcast, this goes viral. We become
by the
influencers in
way,
our own space.
my Instagram account is CMABILAA.
Marcela, you want to plug yours in?
I'm good, thanks.
No, but okay, assuming that does. First of all, it will be products that actually you care about. And products that
Exactly.
actually you use, because
But that's the idealistic version of it, because really an influencer just wants to get paid. And if some brand pays you, you're going to feature it in your story for like a second and take the paycheck, even if you don't believe in the brand.
yeah, but we are lucky enough that we have an education and the ability to get a job which pays us otherwise as well, right?
But there are people who literally like that's going. Okay, let's circle back again. Like what you were saying is like the generation that we've created is people who don't want to work, people who like don't want to work traditional jobs. They want to do insta famous jobs. You know, like they want to just give their opinions and be paid for that.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So
I mean,
like
I
we've
guess I'm a
created
little
that.
more. I'm a bit of a dinosaur in terms of an opinion when it comes to those things. But I see it. I'm not denying it. It works, all right. And as much as I hate it, if I had a rising startup tomorrow and I had to get my brand name out there, I'd probably invest in this as well. But doesn't mean that I wouldn't try to change it for the better. I think there are definitely things I mean, again, like I said, a lot of my opinion comes from personal bitter experiences, and I'm probably biased towards the more negative outlook towards it. But there are positive aspects as well. But I mean, we have an opportunity to, I think as marketers, we going forward, we have the opportunity to influence it for the better, and we should.
Yeah,
Okay,
I totally agree. And honestly, like there's so many things that marketing can improve on. Like I think GDPR, GDPR, GD, whatever.
Yeah, GDPR.
It should be um like a worldwide thing. Like you should not be able to sell people's information with their name
Absolutely
attached to it.
cannot agree with you
Like,
more. I'm sure Marcela feels the same, especially after our masters. We've seen what you can do with data, and it's insane.
like
I mean,
I don't understand why the United States is so behind on this. Like I understand China because they're
I mean,
communism,
I
but
mean,
like there's
let's.
so many other countries.
I have some very explosive opinions on that, but I'm not gonna not gonna state it.
That's another podcast.
That's another
But,
podcast. You know, once
like,
you're too famous
as-
to be affected by this, that's another
Yeah.
podcast altogether.
I mean, for me, like I think that's where marketing's responsibility starts.
You know what?
Like GDPR.
We'll circle back on this topic in a couple of years when I'm world famous and you guys are my new guest. All right.
Please. When you become that awesome influencer and wake up with 10,000 followers,
I become the
overnight,
very thing I hate.
yeah, like please make me CMO of your company.
All right, guys. We are reaching the end of whatever I wanted to discuss. But I want to very quickly touch upon like what's your favorite ad campaign been over the last how many ever years? What's the one that stuck with you?
Marcela.
Oh God, I don't know. Let me think.
Oh, I have two. So, and they're ironically the same ones that are Teresa's favorites, which is the IE professor that taught us. And it would be the Old Spice commercial. I love that Old Spice commercial. That's like, your man could be this. Your man could. I like reference that all the time.
If I can say that commercial just totally somehow embodies the personality of Old Spice, right?
Yeah, and it came back.
Yeah.
Like the guy came back. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So I think that that's a really good one. And then the Volkswagen Darth Vader.
Oh, that one's
I
amazing.
haven't
Thinks he
seen
can
that one.
turn on the car. A little kid thinks he can turn on the car. Go watch it. It's an amazing one.
Yeah, that one's so cute.
Those are my favorites.
I always go back to the old Joga Bonito Nike World Cup commercial. It's one of my favorites. I've rewatched so many times. Not to be basic and say that Nike's amazing again, but Nike's amazing at their ads.
Yeah.
They have some of the best ad campaigns.
Do you guys remember that one with Elvis' song, A Little More Conversation?
No.
Okay.
I think I do.
I mean, I'm sure
I
we have
think
seen
we
it.
do.
We just don't remember it from.
It's a long time ago.
I have one great example which is stuck in my mind for a long time. And actually, before this podcast, I looked it up to get a little bit of a background information. And I absolutely like this might not be as flashy or anything, but it's worked so well that its effect has felt for like 3 decades after it started. You know that around Christmas time, KFC is the most popular food outlet in Japan.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, because back in 1980s, I think. So Japan back in 1980s, Japan did not have a Christmas culture at all. Right? I mean, they don't follow Christianity, but Christianity is not their primary religion anyway. So they didn't really have much of a Christmas party or Christmas dinner thing. So some store manager at that time, and turkey was not something that Japanese people preferred also. So
Okay.
that combined as well, like it was not really that big, but people were enamored with the idea of Christmas itself, and a lot of that had to do with Western influences in terms of movies and things. Now, at that time, a store manager in one of the KFC outlets decided, okay, for Christmas, why don't we have this combo where we sell a bottle of wine and a bucket of KFC chicken, and that's a combo that you get for Christmas alone.
No way.
Yeah, it proved so popular that now it is the biggest selling point for KFC the entire year. Every year, Christmas is now associated with KFC for the last 30 years. And it's such a big deal for them that they start preparing for Christmas, the next Christmas, like within 3 months of the previous Christmas finishing.
I love that. That sounds
Awesome.
That is
amazing.
insane, right? They get 40% of their orders are pre-ordered, like, I don't know, 2 months in advance.
Wow.
That is their biggest selling point. And all
That's
of this
amazing.
because one guy back in 1980s, one manager decided, hey, people want to do something for Christmas. They don't have anything in mind. Why not have this combo? Sell it. It became so popular and it's become part of their culture now. I
I mean, that's how it starts. Like, how do you think the Kit Kat started for Japan as well?
exactly
Like,
right. Kit Kat as well.
Oh, yeah.
Kit Kat with their different flavors, and my God, I
not
mean,
even like they give a Kit
Well-
Kat for good luck.
Back home, we have something or similar. We have a donut shop that they do for September, a 2-for-1. You
Uh-huh.
have no idea how big of a deal it is. All of September, and they can't get rid of it. Everybody looks forward to September like months in advance. It's the whole thing. People buy donuts on a daily basis.
Are you kidding me? I was supposed to go this weekend.
Oh, you're gonna get donuts.
I was supposed to go get donuts. I was supposed to do
this
so many things.
this is like one of those fairy tale marketing stories we hear about, right? I mean, one
Right?
decision that one guy took so many years ago has changed the way a brand is perceived
That's
in a
awesome.
country.
I hope
That's-
to have that impact.
I mean,
one day.
I think that's the cool thing about marketing. It's like your ad, it can make such a big difference.
It can make such a difference, and it has to be something as simple as deciding, hey, these people want something for Christmas. Why not just give a bottle of wine with a bucket of nothing that's too taxing on your brain, nothing that's too much of an overhead for you. You just
Hey,
get your
simple is usually better.
yeah, man. And for me, that example is like that's how simple marketing can be and have such a ripple effect
Yeah.
on a brand.
See, but
Also,
then
do you know that? Yeah.
here's my question to you: is that marketing or advertising?
I'd say it's a bit of both. Okay, advertising is where he decided, okay, how he's going to show it. But I mean, the fact that he identified, okay, this is the need. Here's what we need to sell to these people to sort of get them to come. I mean, that's marketing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he decided to position his brand in a way that is appealing to the people at that time. I mean, and at least in my head, that's prime marketing.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Just wanted to be clear on that one.
But yes, that's what we have for this podcast, guys. Thank you so much for doing this. This has been awesome. This is a lot of fun. This is probably the most fun I've had in a podcast, to be honest. And not like I've done a lot.
Oh my God, we beat out Cobus and
I
my
mean, it was
goodness, this feels so good. Watch
I mean,
him listen to this and be like, I'm gonna hit you.
it was fun talking to those guys as well. But this was a lot more casual. So I definitely enjoyed this one. But thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you so much for taking the time. And yeah, but stay on. I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll say our goodbyes. But thank you.
Okay.
Say goodbye to the 5 people who are going to listen to this. Quick.
Wait, I just feel like we should mention that the Teresa that we mentioned a lot is Teresa Recio, marketing manager, Professor IE, just because we credit her a lot. In case
Calm
everybody-
down, Marcela. Your grades already come out. All right. You're not going to get
Love
brownie points.
her. Fine. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All 5 people that listened. Bye.
Bye.